guys, it's Melissa from Silhouette School. Guess what? I finally got my hands on. This is the Cameo Pro, which we have all been long waiting for. And it's not what they promised. It's better. This Cameo Pro is actually 24 inches, not 20, which is what Silhouette announced when they announced this machine in May of 2019. So I'm so excited to have gotten my hands on one of the very first ones out there. And we are going to unbox it today so you can see what comes in the box and how to set this whole thing up. Okay? All right. So I have to say, this thing is massive. It's a little awkward to unbox. And just get it all out and set up. It's going to literally take up my entire craft table. So just be aware that you are going to need some room to store this. Not store it, it's narrow. It actually has the same footprint as far as height and width, depth, as the other Cameo 4 machines, but obviously it's much longer. Okay, here we go. All right. So, if you're wondering, does it come with a mat? It comes with a mat, a 24 by 24 inch cutting mat, okay? Now, you can cut with or without the mat, but it is an option there. So let's put that down, get that out of the way for right now. One of the big differences is that while it comes with a roll feeder, it is not a built-in roll feeder like the Cameo 4 and the Cameo Plus. It is a 4-piece detachable roll feeder that you have to build, okay? So we've got all these pieces here are part of the roll feeder. Get those out of the way. A couple little papers. And lots of packing material. Okay, now, like I said, this gets a little awkward. Okay. Obviously, you want to be very careful as you're unpacking. I love unboxings. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn this around. As you can see, this thing is massive. It's a 24-inch cutting machine, but the machine itself is 34.5 inches long. Okay. Make sure you do this before trash day, not on trash day. All right. So one thing you will instantly recognize is it looks almost identical to the other Cameo 4 machines. There are very few subtle differences, most of which you will see once you open this up. So you want to make sure that you get all the packing tape off of here. Carefully. All right. And before we go any further, let me just get this out of the way. Okay, so the lid is retractable, just like the other Cameo 4 machines. You will notice that the roller bar is different than the roller bar on all of the other Silhouette machines. This is so that it can be more stable with this big machine. The rollers themselves are moved. This is the roller itself. Looks totally different than the other machines, works similarly. All right, so let's continue unpacking this. Make sure you get all of the tape. If you don't get all of the tape and packing material out of there, you will have trouble cutting. Now, there is a piece of packing material that's stuffed over here under the left side of the carriage. So gently move the carriage and pull out that piece of material that's protecting that. Okay, so now we want to look at the rest of this stuff. We're going to put together the roll feeder, so I'm going to show you how that works. Then I will show you how to actually use it with a roll and a couple of the other features on the machine. Okay, before we start putting the roll feeder together, let's take a look at some of the other stuff that's included. So you're going to have these two pieces. These are actually for the roll feeder. Okay, then you have all your normal cords. You've got the USB connection cord, which you can use if you're going to cut through USB. So connect the USB cord from the machine to your computer. Then you have the 2-piece power cord. which is also, you know, you connect obviously same way you do with all the other Silhouette machines. And then you have this piece here, which is actually a mat support. So I'm going to show you how to use that. And then you have 3 little small things. All you have is the auto blade, okay, goes in the #1 tool carriage, needs to be locked in, make sure there's no gap. That will automatically adjust based on the material and the other cut settings that you have selected in the software. Then you have this blue tool adapter. That's for if you want to use a sketch pen to draw instead of cut. And then you have this little tool adjustment piece. Okay, so probably won't use that too often, but you can use it to if you want to manually adjust your blade or take the cap off to clean it. All right, so let's power this on. The 2-piece power cord needs to be connected together. Oh, okay, well, I'll do that in 1 second. I have one other thing I have hidden back here that I need to show you. Okay, so we'll put the power cord together. Plugs in over here on the right side. And the power button is also on the same side. Okay. Control panel lights up once it's powered on. You have a Bluetooth button over here as well, which you can use to connect your machine to your computer via Bluetooth. So you can cut without using the USB cable. As I said though, that is an option. All right, this slides out. You can use this as a little spot to store your adapter and your other tool, or if you're using a different blade in the machine, you can, you know, put your auto blade in there. It's just a little storage area that you can use, kind of hidden over here to the side. All right, now the rest of the roll feeder includes this small little piece, skinny little piece, and this long crossbar, okay? I'm going to show you how to put this all together. So this small skinny piece hooks in. This is only if you're using the roll feeder. This small skinny piece, as you can see, has a little lip here, which goes on the far right side. Okay, you want to make sure once it's hooked in that your machine is still sitting completely flush. These 2 pieces, you need to have the flat piece all the way to the left and this one all the way to the right. Okay, so the rollers basically are in the middle. This is where your roll of vinyl is going to sit. This piece connects over here. There's a little spot you can see. Again, it's a little difficult to do this upside down. This piece, this center piece, is adjustable. So it can go anywhere in here depending on how wide your material is. So if you have a 12-inch roll of vinyl, you can cut that. You place it in here and then you would adjust this so that it's flush to your roll, keeping your roll in position. And then you just place this cross piece, oops, in, and it holds it all kind of in place. Okay. All right. So you can use this for your rolls. Let's see. Here's a 12-inch roll. I would place it on here. This needs to be moved in a bit. Okay. These pieces have 2 little roll adjustment bars. You want to unscrew the piece and pull it out for narrower rolls of vinyl. If you have a large, like 30 yard, you would want them shorter because the roll itself is actually thicker. Okay, and you'll be able to screw these back in place so they stay. Okay. And then you would just place your roll here and load it in. All right, now again, you have this new type of roller bar, but it works the same way. In order to adjust it, you flip this lever down, and then there are, I don't know, 5 or 6 different areas on here, which I don't know if you can see, but it will indicate exactly where to put the roller based on the width of your material. So once it's in position, You just slide this. You can see how easily it slides. And then you flip it back up, and roller is now stuck in place. Okay? All right. Now, if you're not using the roll feeder, you can still use these same pieces as a mat support. Okay? So you can keep them all in there and add this big block. And then when you're using your cutting mat, because this thing is ginormous, it has a cover sheet on it. You would want to remove this. Place your material on there. And then okay, and it's ideal to have this so it's out a little, back a little bit, so that your mat is as straight as possible. But you can see that these three pieces then help to support your mat so it's not completely flopped over. Okay, so you can see you've got some support there. All right, you can use all the pieces, you can just use the one. Now, this stuff obviously takes up a lot of room. So what do you do when you're not using your cutting roll feeder or blocks? This actually nests together. Okay, so you can store it more easily. Okay. And, whoops, it needs some kind of locking mechanism, which it doesn't have. However, at least it just takes up that one little bit of space, and then you just have this too, okay? All right, you guys, of course we have tons of videos on how to use the Cameo 4. The machine works the same way as the other Cameo 4 machine, so you can use the dual tool carriage. The carriage 2 is for all the specialty tools, which would be the rotary blade, the craft 3mm craft blade, and the punch tool. So if you see videos or you see tutorials on Silhouette School blog that are for the Cameo 4, just know that they also apply to this machine as well. We have lots of other getting to know, startup, setup, where to get materials like that, all on Silhouette School blog. So head over there to check that out and get started with your new Cameo 4 Pro.